And welcome. You are just in time for... Wait, did I roll a wild? Your Marvel Crisis Protocol vlog. We're here with a very special guest. Actually, someone that's very close and near and dear to our hearts, Mr. Brian Watson, the TO of TOs. He has TO'd ACO. He's helped TO at LVO. It's so hard with the frontline ones where there's so many O's in so many places.
They need to change up that open format.
Right? Everwinter. He TO'd the Salt City GT in Syracuse that we ran this past July. Been literally all over the place, including Midgard Games, and I'm sure, Brian, and absolutely countless other places.
Yeah, there was a little thing in Chicago last year that I helped do.
Oh, you know what? I feel like there was someone in the van with us the whole time. But that's right, yeah. Adepticon 2023.
Yep.
But Brian is going to be TOing and really running the MCP events in full. He is the King Ding Doppeldonger of MCP for Everwinter, which is just a couple weeks away. We're going to be talking about a bunch of the cool events that are going to be happening there, including a really interesting charity drive that'll be happening on that Friday. Now,
yes.
As always, we are, in fact, sponsored by a little company called Frontline Gaming. You can check them out at frontlinegaming.com or frontlinegaming.org. Or actually, don't even do that. Just go to the link in the show notes. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. And they sell miniatures, models, maybe some mats, maybe some other stuff, and including event tickets to events like the Cherokee Open, which will be happening in February of 2024, right on the heels, or I guess not, maybe a month after the heels of LVO 2024, where we've been at events all year this year, including the Atlantic City Open. There's been the Bay Area Open. There's, Cruise Hammer, which I don't think MCP was there, but it's a Frontline Gaming event and it sounds dope. It's on a cruise. Why wouldn't you want to do that? But listen, it's dope. It helps the network. It doesn't cost you anything extra. And listen, it's a great time. But that said, Brian.
Yes, sir.
There's a thing that people do when they play games like this, and sometimes it's thoughts, sometimes it's games played, and sometimes it's hobbying accomplished. Have you hobbied, played games, or thoughts?
I have done all three.
That's impressive. I've only done one of them, and the answer might surprise you.
The answer is the thicket. But no, I have a little Iron Mans that I've done. The little kind of mark whatever.
I want to say MK4, but I think it's wrong.
Also, you know what? It's 4.
Nice. It's canon now.
Right now, it's 4. Ding, ding. 10 points for Tim. I am in the middle of a league. So the locals at Midgard are doing like a road to Everwinter as like a bunch of practice games.
Nice.
Leading up to it so they can have their blade sharpened, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
And because I didn't want to have an uneven amount of people, I threw myself in there. And I'm only playing defenders. None of this dual affiliation thing. We're going full D.
Hardline D.
Yeah, exactly. There's a couple unaffiliated characters. But it's like the standard fare. There's like an Immortal Hulk in there. Ant-Man's in there because he's just hilarious, and I love using him.
Immortal Hulk is a defender, isn't he?
No, he's in Midnight Suns only.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of, was Midnight Suns. Yeah. Listen, there was magic involved, either for or counter.
Right. But yeah, so I've been playing Doctor Strange, which I haven't really played him a lot when the Crisis updated last year.
Yeah.
But now that everything kind of got a little bit smaller, and kind of some more compact, like I've kind of been enjoying playing him a bit more.
Yeah.
A 6 defense dice Wong is absolutely hilarious because you just get people like, oh, I'm just going to take Bucky and I'm just going to gun down Wong. And I'm just like, all right, he's within 3. So now he's defense 4.
Ooh, and then
Crane's going to add up the shield. So now he's defense 6.
Oh, that's really nice.
It's just hilarious. It's so much fun. And then if they do like 1 or 2 damage, it's just his neck activation. He just heals it. It's just great. Tanking Wong is so much fun. But yeah, no, that's been going real well. I think my last game I played was Monday against the new X-Men.
Okay.
So that was kind of neat.
Was Cyclops at the helm, or
he was? Yeah, he was speed of light and all over the place.
Oh, it's so great, just lasering folks down.
Yeah, it was so much fun that he was just like, he would move to be like, oh, look at me, I'm outside of 3 of Iron Fist, and then I'm also gonna like laser Wolverine on the other side of the table. I was just like, what's happening?
Just bubbling around.
But no, but it was good. But the league's been going well. The locals are now getting excited over Everwinter stuff. It's kind of like Everwinter has become like the next thing.
Yeah.
So they're now like paying attention to it. It is no longer the forest. It is now the tree that's right in front of them. So they're like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
And for those of you that are unaware, Everwinter is a convention, not here, but in Boston, Massachusetts, December 8th through 10th. So that is coming up. There are tickets still available. We'll be streaming it live from there as well. So if you haven't checked it out yet, I would highly suggest heading over to wickeddicey.com and grabbing tickets. There is also a code. If you would like $25 off your ticket, it effectively waives the convention badge. You only got to buy your event ticket for Marvel Crisis Protocol, and that is it. That code is AMG4LIFE, number 4, AMG4LIFE. You can put that in, get $25 off. wickeddicey.com is the place to do it.
Yeah, so they've been putting a lot of work in to make this kind of the best event that we can.
It was one of our favorites of last year for sure. So we were incredibly excited for this year.
Yeah, it's looking really, really fun. So how do you want to do this? What do you want to get into?
So we had Miles and Cam on a couple weeks ago, kind of to talk about the general picture of running Everwinter and what that's like. And Miles, and Cam as well, but Miles is always an absolute delight.
Yes.
But the one I'm very, very, very much interested in is, and I guess just to get this out of the way, because there's been a couple other events recently that have allowed the core box, have not allowed the core box. It is safe to assume at Everwinter core box and character update fully in play?
Oh, please. Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Absolutely. Without question.
The event that I'm super into is this charity event on Friday.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So tell me a little bit about what it benefits and kind of the overall premise.
So it is benefiting the local Toys for Tots. If you're unfamiliar with it, it is a charity that helps fund Christmas presents for kids in need. So it's very, very well known, very popular.
Well, then Everwinter 2 is placed at a very kind of perfect time, right? At the beginning of December, where that fundraiser will have impact like immediately.
Right, exactly. It's not just like going to some national fund that just kind of sits there, like it's getting used immediately. So what we're doing, I'm kind of taking inspiration from an old War Machine and Hordes event that was called Food Machine. Basically, what that is you would donate a bunch of canned goods. Every canned good that you donated, you could use for like a cheat in the game. My twist on it is you give myself the convention money. Give me
a donation
how do
you put currencular, a currency-er form? I know it's not a word, but listen, it is now.
Sure, it's a word now. You get a bunch of tokens, one for every $1 that you donate. You also get a high five from me.
Whoa!
One high five. That's it. I can only do up so much. They're a rare item. And there's going to be a menu board that you can spend these tokens on to creatively affect the game. Some might call it cheating.
Mhm.
I call it having fun in a consensual way.
I normally call cheating forgetting the rules, but
That's fair.
this is a little bit more forward.
Yeah, so there's a couple ways that these kind of work. Like some of them are just flat up like you can spend a little token and you can re-roll a die that you rolled. Like that's just kind of baseline, easy.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can kind of wrap their heads around it. There's a few others where the two players get into like a bidding war if they want something to happen or they don't want something to happen.
All right,
So,
like an anti-system.
Yes. So like the easiest one that I can come up with, or that I came up with, is you can just claim priority without even rolling the priority roll. You can just be like, I'm gonna bid a token just to win priority. And then your opponent's like, no, I'm gonna put down 2 tokens and you're not. And then you just keep going back and forth until someone decides that they don't want to do that anymore.
Okay, so question.
Yeah.
So I bid, I'm like, I know priority's mine. I put down a token. They're like, no, I meet you, or I raise you that, or I also put down one.
So, can't meet, but yeah.
So so it can't meet.
No.
So they can't be like, nope, I'm going to spend a token 2 and we'll just roll normally. They would have to spend 2 or accept it.
Right. You gotta outfit your opponent. And what's even fun with the tokens, you can buy more tokens mid-game. If you want to like come up to me like, look, I really need this to happen. Here's another $10. I'll be like, sweet. And I'll throw 10 tokens at you.
Is there an ATM in the hall?
I will try to find the closest ATM that will be there. Okay. There's a bar nearby, so I'm sure that there is.
All right, Everwinter 2023, bring cash.
I will also try to figure out a way if the registration up front will take cards as well. So if you like show me a receipt, I'll do that too.
Perfect.
But so it can get a little sassy.
I like that.
It can get so sassy. I'm gonna share with you a couple of my favorites.
I'm very excited for this.
So one of them is, and I took a lot of inspiration for watching and judging a bunch of events, things that just kind of happen throughout a game.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them I'm calling Whose Token Is That? So if you have a character with a token on them that's within range 1 of another character, you can pass that token to that other character. So it'll cost you 1 token to move a special condition.
Mm-hmm.
Two tokens if it happens to be staggered, because that's really good.
Yep.
Or you can also move a activated token. You can move a character token that happens to be there, like I don't know, like
Brother Daniel,
Red Skull's additional defense dice, or Tippy Toe, or wherever.
So, like, you can move Leviathan armor onto yourself from an enemy Red Skull.
Yeah. Because the models are so mixed up. Like, you don't know which...
It could have been anyone's. I'm pretty certain that was, in fact, Wong's.
Right, yeah. And also, it costs 3 to move a Daze token.
Oh.
From one character to another. Now,
all right.
Now, it can only be done during your turn.
Mm-hmm.
And where you're like, oh, that's just broken, like blah, 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 blah. Your opponent's going to be able to do the same thing because you're within, like, the best way that you could probably, like, I mean, because you're going to be within range 1 anyways. So if, like, you move within, or if you're dazed and you have to be within range 1 of the guy who dazed you, and you move it back over to them, they can just do it and move it back over to you. So it's madness and hilarious. Hilarity is going to be about.
And while it might hurt a character, it's going to benefit the kids of Boston.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so the people who come to this on Friday night definitely need to come in with the right mindset.
Yeah.
Like, if anyone starts, like, complaining, being like, this is stupid, this is unfair, da 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 da.
This is benefiting kids of Boston, is what this is.
Yeah, I may have fun with it in your situation and your attitude with the entire room. I mean, not mean, like, but I mean, like, come on.
I think that has to be the standard response, right? If anyone complains, just why do you hate kids?
Right, exactly.
Why do you hate kids, though?
Yeah, I'll get creative. But some of the other ones, like you can reuse a tactics card that you had already spent. There's one of the most expensive ones. It costs 5 tokens, so it's $5
dues
for one game. You get to pick your crisis and tactics cards from the expanded timeline, not the standard.
Oh yeah, I like that a lot. I was actually just thinking about that. I was like, are we going to get a field dressing in game here? Ooh, spending to get that and be able to reuse it. Ooh, Wong is never going down.
Nope, never.
Especially
never.
with that Leviathan armor.
Yeah, so it's a lot of other little stuff like that. You can blow up terrain irregardless of whether you have a superpower or not.
Nice.
Stuff just explodes. But my favorite one, it's called Sus Judge Call. So when you measure range from any two things, you can get into a bidding war with your opponent on whether you're in or not, irregardless of even if you're close.
So I could be in my deployment zone, trying to Hulk punch a bullseye in the enemy deployment zone.
Yes.
And I say, no, I can definitely reach and put down a token.
No, that's within 2. Yeah. And it'll be like, yep, I got a token to call over the judge and say that it is.
I like that a lot.
But what I think could start to get fun is, like, Hulk has 3 power. Okay. So you start his activation and you interact with the hammer on your opponent's side of the board.
Oh.
And then you're within 1. And then if you bidding war and win that, and then you take your other power, and you take the one on the far right, then you get the bidding war at that, and then you get the one on the far left, the bidding war and take that. So Hulk can start out with 3 hammers and not even do anything. Then he gets 2 actions. Right. I haven't been thinking about this recently in some hilarious ways that it can go.
I'm excited for this. And not only am I excited to see it, I'm excited to be able to stream it, because I think that's going to be awesome. So we got to get some like cool graphics and stuff going on for when people spend tokens and stuff like that, flashing lights and dance parties and the whole 9.
Gotta figure something out.
Right.
One of the other ones that I came up that I thought was particularly fun was, it's always hammers. So when you draw your secured extract, you can get into a bidding war to replace the extract that you draw with hammers, irregardless of whether either of you brought it or not. Like, you can just be like, no, we're playing hammers.
Oh, I really like that. Researcher comes up. No, actually, it's hammers.
It's just hammers, because it's always hammers.
Ooh.
So I thought that would be amusing. And like, we haven't even gotten to like half of them.
Now,
like, it's just
how does it work when someone wants to reload their tokens mid game and they're like, oh, he's gonna outbid me, I need 20 more right now?
Well, you would either find me or the registration. Hopefully we're going to be close enough that it's not going to be crazy. Even if for some reason that registration is far enough, I would be fine. I'm hoping that I could work out something where, like, I could get like Venmo'd or PayPal'd, and then I would transfer that over to them once it's also, like, I feel
like if you do it as friends and family and not as a sale, there should be no tax or anything on that. So it should be 1 for 1.
Right. Or maybe we can make one for Wicked Dicey.
Yeah.
Or if they have one, and just have the QR code readily available so that they could just scan that for their Venmo and they could do that.
Ooh,
so
that would
just
be
cut me out entirely.
Yeah.
That way, it's one less step where something can go wrong. We
really
can
like that.
We can work out with that. But yeah, so like I said, there's 20 of these things, and I didn't even go over half of them.
Can we hear 2 more?
Sure.
And I may ask you for 2 more after that as well, because the hammers one, that some of the names on these are like
it's just
real good.
But like it just happens. Like, it happens all the time. It's like, oh yeah, hammers again.
Hammers again.
So after you make an attack, you can just add a condition onto the target.
Oh, dope.
Doesn't matter if the attack has it or not. Doesn't matter what you rolled. You can roll all skulls and be like, oh man, you're incinerated. That sucks. So every condition cost 1, stagger cost 2.
Okay.
Because being able to just
stagger's a lot.
Bucky just stagger a team would be very, very annoying.
Or
there's
speed of sight, staggering the whole field.
Yeah, there you go. What's one of the other fun ones? Oh yeah, this is another fun one. Not even before you make a die roll, before you count whether you succeed or not in a die roll, you can just have blanks count as successes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just count.
Everyone has empowered gauntlets now. Even for pushing buttons on Crisis.
It's not only for attack and defense.
Hell yeah.
Hell, it could even be for a priority roll. There is some stuff where it won't help out in.
Yeah.
You can't inevitable or inexplicable demise Squirrel Girl. And it's I rolled all blanks, so I'm going to count them all as successes, and I'm just going to one-shot your Dormammu. There's some things that you still need the exact symbols.
Yes.
So whether it's yes or no, a success or not, that will count for that.
Okay.
You can't make a blank into anything that you want, but there is some restraints into my insanity.
So and actually to follow up on that, so outside of the Squirrel Girl one, what about Texas cards like Tricks and Traps that need specific symbols, but it does kind of decide whether it's a success or not? Or do you just kind of leave out Tactics cards as a whole?
No, those should be fine. So for example, let's say Mysterio's Tricks and Traps.
Yeah.
That would work. Because
or Sinister's Trap, sorry, is what I was thinking of. As the tactics cards.
Yeah, no, that would be fine because the result is not yes, the hit crit and wild, it's counting whether it's a success or not. It's not an additional variable on top of that.
Okay.
So there'll be a small, very mini FAQ that I may have to go into. But
are there physical tokens that people get? They get a poker chip or something?
Yes, they're going to be actual poker chips. They're not going to be high quality because I'm going to be buying 200 of them.
Yeah.
But don't expect Everwinter printed poker chips or anything like that. Yeah. We gotta save the budget for other things.
Now, for all of the events. Oh no! Sorry. Go ahead. Was there more? Because I'm super down.
So we're gonna be starting as early as we can on Friday. The player pack, I think, set at 3 p.m., but I think we can't start until 5. And I said that it's going to be 3 rounds, but we will go as long as people want to throw money at kids.
Okay.
In the best way possible. Don't throw rolls of quarters at children that's
a little bit's fine.
But yeah, no, we'll go as late until either the con staff, the hotel staff, or I just pass out. Is one of those 3 is the only way it's going to stop. So
okay.
So judge calls early on Saturday morning are going to be perfect.
And just because I forgot to mention this before, this is held at the Westin Waltham in Boston, right? Which is not really, it's not like downtown Boston, but it's
no. It's about a 20 to 30 minute drive north of it. It is a very nice looking hotel.
Nice.
It's one of those ones that's it's just glass, mirrored glass everywhere.
So
it looks very fancy.
The cool thing is that you can see exactly what that looks like right here in the thumbnail. Look at that.
Right down there somewhere.
He's pointing it to better because I'm mirrored or something. But yeah. Boop, boop.
Yeah. So it's a very nice place. My partner is really big into salsa dancing, and a lot of their like salsa dancing conventions are in that hotel.
Oh, nice.
And she's like, oh yeah, no, it's great. It's da 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 da. Do you want to hear? Do you want to hear a rumor?
I very much do.
So there's a rumor. Don't let Wicked Dicey know that I said this. There's a rumor that there may be food trucks in like the parking lot that might be facilitating food needs, because apparently Everwinter is a big event, and they're like, we don't know if we can feed all you folks. So they're like, okay. So I heard rumors that there may be food trucks.
But that's one of the things, like, when I went to Gen Con, and having access to, number one, a handful of like cafeteria things there was cool. But the food trucks outside versus trying to find food at a hotel, or like driving to some place that, if it's on the hotel premises, it's probably like super expensive. Otherwise, you're taking an Uber 20 minutes away to find something that's reasonably priced, and then you're still waiting an hour. I hope that rumor that may or may not be, official, ends up, becoming reality, because that's a massive convenience and a huge money saver normally at a convention, which is exactly why you should head to wickeddicey.com right now and use that code AMG for life.
So that's kind of the main stuff that's going on for Friday. Saturday, the big show, as it were. First things first is I'm running a bit of a creative contest. Yeah. So it's called So You Think You Can Dev. It's in the players pack for the event. Basically what it is, it's a character design contest. So we all know that AMG makes really great characters, but they can't get to them all
yet.
Immediately. Yet. So in the meantime, because as Will Schick would like to say, every character is somebody's favorite. So while they're waiting, there's you kind of have like these kind of like dream ideas of like, oh, if only they made so and so, what would they be like? And what would they do? And all this other stuff. It's a fun kind of like creative exercise that we don't normally get to do, that I decided to let people like stretch those muscles and work out that kind of creative part of it. So we are running a contest for creating a character that doesn't exist at all.
Oh.
So there are 4 specific categories that are going out. I'm not taking everything because our poor judge staff would go crazy. So I'm trying to like limit it and focus it out. So the 4 characters that we're going to be doing for this year are Phantom X, Black Knight, Jessica Jones, and Penny Parker with the anime giant spider suit.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
Because I found them to be incredibly fun. So we're taking all these entries, giving it to a judge team, and then it's a mix of like competitive focused people and people that are just like, oh, well, this is fun and this is really in spirit to the character, and so on and so forth. And the winner is going to, like, obviously there's going to be prizes for them. And everyone who's attending is going to get a character card of the winning entry for all 4 of the categories.
Nice.
And that's happening on Saturday, which we will get into for Sunday. But Saturday is kind of your standard fare, standard timeline, 4-round event.
And it will be an LVO Points Qualifier, right?
It's going to be an LVO Points event. The top 8 will qualify for the Everwinter Survivor Championship on Sunday. But one thing that I'm doing is I'm having an alternative chess clock rule.
Okay.
Which some people may immediately hear that and go, oh God, what is happening? So I wanted to kind of let people know, because in case it happens on stream, they might have a bit of an idea as to what's happening. So for Saturday, not every game needs to be on a chess clock. If one person wants to have a chess clock, then the game will be on it. Still 45 minutes per player. There's still going to be a little bit of like 5-10 minutes for setup time. So I'm hoping that even with the 90-minute rounds and 45 minutes for each player, game should still be finishing at the same time.
Yeah.
But the main difference that I want to kind of go forward is with like LVO and a lot of like frontline events that have chess clocks for MCP. When you would end up running out of time, you just lose. Which I understand it. And it's kind of it's I mean, there's a tradition there. But I have found that it can lead to some very fast, like sloppy play to try to get in as much as you can, especially once that time starts going down. And also if you build a big lead, you know, and you spend your 45 minutes to like try to like secure a win and just lose out on the last couple seconds, and then you lose everything, I think it's kind of a little bit of a feel bad. So I have adjusted it for Everwinter. So basically, if you were to run out of time, you immediately you put activated tokens on the rest of your characters, and then your opponent still gets to do their time. You still do the cleanup phase. You could still potentially score. You still do the power phase. The only thing that you are able to do as a player is roll defense dice and roll dodge dice. You cannot play reactive superpowers. You cannot play tactics cards at all. And even for every subsequent power phase that may happen, it may be only one or two. Instead of like powering up your characters, you just put activated tokens on all of your characters. Because there are some attacks and some superpowers and stuff that interact with characters having activated tokens or not. So, like, for example, like the bar with no doors leadership for convocation, like that would all get thrown out of whack if there weren't activated tokens out. So that would get really, really weird. So at least there's something. But you know, you could finish your time, you know, being up 14-12, and your opponent's like, okay, I got to make sure that with the rest of my time, he doesn't score at least 2 more VPs.
Right.
So you can still push characters off points. You can still try to daze them to take extracts off and everything else. But it's not just an immediate, okay, you're done, you lost.
Well, and I think maybe the scenario sometimes that comes into a lot of people's mind is like, well, I'm going to get slow played and I'm going to use 15 minutes, but my opponent's going to use all 45. I think maybe this was part of what you were thinking is it's honestly more for the closer games. So like if you clock out, but your opponent only has 45 seconds left, well, good luck getting back that lead in that 45 seconds instead of you auto losing.
Yeah, but if it's like a 14-15, you know, somebody could still do some like quick control effects, like throw people off points and stuff like that, and still be able to kind of.
Or if you are being slow played and you do have a half an hour left, well, you should be able to pull it out. Yeah.
So there is something. I mean, it's still the person who clocks out is still disadvantaged.
Yes.
You know, but it's not just an auto loss, and we just move on. So
actually very curious, do you anticipate that being used a lot on day one or Saturday?
I know that there are some groups of folks, I will not say who and what aquatic finned predators they might be affiliated with.
Okay.
Who have stated that they really like these chess clock rules, and they will probably be doing them for every single round.
Obviously, you're referring to the Taylor Ham Barracudas.
Yes, absolutely. Look at you making 2 groups now at the same time. But on the flip side, is if you and your opponent just want to have like a casual, normal, or I don't even want to say casual game, but if you just want to use like the standard 90-minute round timer, you can do so. If you've had like a rough day and you've like dropped your first two games and your next two, you just like don't want to worry about it. If your opponent's cool with it, like you don't have to play with the chess clock. So that way, I think as the day goes on, you're going to see like the quote lower end tables probably are not going to have any chess clocks on them. Or if like you're brand new and there's somebody else that's just like casual and like, do we want to worry about these? No, great, let's not, and we'll move on. Mm-hmm. Like, so you can do that, because I've had a number of times where chess clocks were used and it was like a person's first tournament.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do we do with these? Or like both players had never used chess clocks before. Like, we have, like, what do we do?
Like, well, and very legitimate. That, that's a somewhat of a barrier of entry, and that drives away new players, right? And that's the opposite of what any game should be doing, is driving away new players.
So it definitely is kind of much more of a relaxed version of kind of the standard chess clock rules. So I've had a couple offers for tryouts and stuff. So I'm hoping it's still gonna go successful and things are gonna go, but we'll definitely see how it shakes out. But I'm very optimistic that it's gonna have a positive effect on things. So.
Good. And to circle back real quick, so you think you can dev. So if someone wanted to submit a character or one of those 4 characters that you listed, where can they send that, or is that already closed?
There's still a couple weeks left. There are a couple there's one major caveat that I have, is you have to be going to Everwinter to be able to enter. That's another thing that I'm doing to making sure that we don't have like 75 entries.
Yeah.
From people who have they're not going to be going, but yet now we have to take all this judge time to like go through them all.
So if you were waffling before, obviously now you're coming to Everwinter.
Right, exactly.
And use the code AMG4Life at checkout at wickeddicey.com to get your ticket.
It's like 33% off. Amazing. And the other thing too is I'm going to be collecting feedback from the judges, so that people who are there who submitted things will get feedback for their entries like there. And also I want to kind of like give a little spotlight for the winners, because I know we haven't talked about it yet, but on Sunday, so Sunday has 2 events going on at the same time. The top 8 from Saturday are all going to play on Sunday. 3-round event. Chess clocks will be mandatory. Still with kind of like the relaxed death clock rules. Mm-hmm. The couple things, or the one main thing with that, is winner go home. So like it's an elimination bracket on Sunday.
Oh.
So like the finals will legitimately be playing for first and second.
Nice.
Which I kind of it like ups the stakes a little bit, and I don't know, it's kind of fun. So Sunday, the event for kind of quote everyone else, the 4 characters that were the kind of the winning categories, because everyone's getting character cards, all those characters that won the contest are all going to be legal for Sunday.
Ooh.
So you could just get a character that you want to swap out and just kind of have it as like a proxy. It'll just be a fun little thing. A couple things with that. If this is successful and people like it, I would like to continue on with it, so that each year kind of so you think you can dev meta like slowly builds. However, there's a couple things with this. If you see me at Everwinter or you get a hold of me through other ways, please do not ask for a category to fix a character. We are not I am not going to try to do like a crowdsourcing, let's fix MCP of characters. Like, no, that's not.
And
I'm
listen,
not getting into that at all.
We saw with that character update, like they're obviously listening and updating the characters as they need to be done. Like
exactly. And if for some reason a character officially comes out, so like let's say Jessica Jones gets released sometime in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm saying that I have any inside info, because I don't. I'm as back of the bus with everybody else. Like let's say that were to happen, the Jessica Jones entry that won would get rotated out. It would no longer be available. So only the official versions of those characters would be there. I figured those two things are kind of my way to let AMG know that I'm not trying to, step on anyone's toes or try to be like, oh, we're going to show you how we're like, no, I'm not trying to get into any sort of attitude like that.
It's a fun little thing that's almost reality showish, right? Like
exactly.
Do you really think you can dev? Can you really?
Right. The inspiration that I had for it was a scene of like, a small group of 4 guys or gals or non-binaries, whatever you want, that all meet up every other week in their buddy's basement.
Yeah.
And one guy's just like, AMG still hasn't made blah. Are you guys cool if I like made my own? And they're like, yeah, I mean, those rules don't seem out of like, they don't seem completely crazy. We don't have like a 20 threat pile driver or like whatever. It's sure, that's fine.
No, we need a wrecking crew where you can only ever use one at once because they're all 17 to 20 points.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, and just kind of like get that kind of like feel, also give people kind of a different creative outlet, and it's still part of the MCP hobby. Like that's all it's really trying to design to do. Like this is not trying to like flip a middle finger at Atomic Mass Games at all. That's the furthest thing that I want. So please don't ask, because I will politely tell you no.
So I had a follow-up question. I saw on the Everwinter 2023 MCP Discord that there's grudge matches of some form.
Oh, yes. This is also the fun thing for Saturday. Sorry, we're going to rewind a little bit. Yes, if you are on the MCP Everwinter Discord.
And the link for that, for Wicked Dicey, and for the Toys for Tots sheets that you can buy, I'll have the links for all of those in the show notes and the description.
They'll be down in the doobly doo.
Down in the doobly doos. When you're going down there to leave a comment and hit like, and it'll be right there.
So folks will be able to issue grudge challenges for round 1 of Saturday. So if there's someone that that's going to be there that you've always wanted to play against, or if like I know that there's a situation coming up, the grudge hasn't officially happened, but I'm going to make sure that it happens because I think it's great. Like player A got a win at a tournament like 6 months ago. Player B got the win back at a tournament like a month later. And so now they're like 1-1. So they want the rubber match. So they're going to challenge them to make sure that round 1 of Everwinter, they have the rubber match so they can settle
right
the
away.
score.
Just get it out of the way.
Yeah. Staking
their whole qualifier on a grudge. I love it. It's like the opposites of the friends list on Longshanks. Like not only do I want to play you, we're playing you.
Yeah, exactly. There's a couple that have happened already. But I'm hoping that as things kind of get closer, we're going to get a lot more activity. Also creativity. Like I kind of stole this from another game system. There was a grudge it was a video because a guy's nickname was Bread. So the grudge was like a guy beating up a loaf of bread. And then Bread's response was an entire rap video that he made accepting the challenge. Like, I want to eventually get to a point where we're at that level.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be amazing. like issuing challenge and cosplay. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like that's like bare minimum.
And let's be clear. MCP is kind of the game for that.
Yeah.
As long as it's an officially licensed costume.
Absolutely. Like I have an official Daredevil hoodie.
Yeah.
Like with the cowl.
Roosevelt's has all those officially licensed like button-ups that I wear normally at conventions. The Alligator Loki one and the Miles Morales and Star Captain Shields. That's his real name. Star Captain Shields.
The Nightcrawler one.
Yeah. The Nightcrawler. Ooh, I think it was Ben Ransom on the character update panel from Mini Extravaganza was wearing that dope Roosevelt's Nightcrawler button-up.
Yeah. So I mean, it can get things can get a lot of fun. So so there'll be those challenges that will happen on Saturday. I'm trying to remind myself, also one of the other great things for the Discord. I mean, I say great like I'm patting myself on the back. It's just weird. So one of the other things that I'm trying to do, if you're going in for like a small group and you want to find roommates for a hotel, there's a spot to do that. If you want to check out all the prize support, there's a separate channel that you can look at all the prize support, and that's constantly growing. And again, it's probably going to keep ramping up as things are going on. The players pack, which I can send you a link for, so even if you don't want to go into the Discord, but you want to take a look at the players pack anyways, I will make sure that you have a link for that. So all of the information will be there.
Nice.
It'll be a great old time.
Now, one of the other events that happens at Everwinter, is there going to be a Wicked Brush there?
Yes, there will.
Nice.
Absolutely. And I know that there was one MCP mini that did very well. It was Miles Morales was clinging onto a brick wall. He was like in the hoodie and jeans. It was really, really good. I'm hoping we get more because there's a lot of good stuff out there.
I think that wasn't that, I can't remember his name. He had the swank jacket that my Sabretooth is based off of last year.
I think I know who you're talking about. And
Rusty.
I think we're both. Yes.
It was Rusty.
I think it was Rusty. Yeah.
And that was one thing. Just shout out to Taylor and Rusty real quick. Everywhere last year, we went out to a lot of the MCP folk went out to like a barcade, right, and played a bunch of Ninja Turtles and a whole bunch of stuff. And Rusty wore this like leopard print blue and black like smoking jacket, and it was dope.
Oh, that's right. I remember this. Yeah, I remember you guys were all freaking out about the smoking jacket.
It was so good. So Taylor painted the coat on the Apex Predator Sabretooth for me in that blue and black smoking jacket. It is top tier. It is so good.
Excellent. So it'll be a good time. It'll be 3 days of hilarity and great games played, and it'll be a good time. The infamous Tactical Rock will be there. Folks from Montreal. So one of them,
they're just like tattooing a straight sleeve at this point on that thing, right? The Montreal Shark Tank.
They were starting to say that it's their rock because they're on over half of it, which is no longer true, by the way.
Oh.
I had an event in October, and there was, Proud Yank ended up getting added to it.
Nice.
A first timer as well.
Oh, really? So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. He is a bit of a force. So we have another like quasi local that like he's one of those guys that like will show up and it's just like, oh, okay, all right, it's him. Here we go. So he made top 8 at NashCon.
Oh, nice.
This most recent one. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Andy Murray. Good guy.
Oh, that name sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I met him at NashCon last year or something, but yeah, I
think even, you know what I think, actually, not even to give this guy a bit more of a reputation than I already am.
Yeah.
But I want to say at Ironweld, the Montreal guys were trying to recruit him because he ended up beating all of them at various stages of other events.
Well, that's kind of cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, they were trying to recruit him in, and I remember looking at it. I'm just like, what is this? No, you don't do this.
Now, speaking of Ironweld, so Ironweld is also done by Wicked Dicey. So same site that you're going to for Everwinter, you can go to for Ironweld as well. And I hadn't seen this before on the site. I was checking it out today. Do you know anything about this fall retreat?
Yes. So the fall retreat, that is a Age of Sigmar event.
Gotcha.
It is I actually went to it. It was 2-3 weeks ago. It is a 5-person Age of Sigmar team event.
Oh, that's right. Was this what you were telling me about before this, like at the Boy Scout camp? And
yep.
Well, that's awesome. So, because we have a lot of listeners that are also Warhammer players. Tell us a little bit about.
So hold on.
Yeah.
So this is my scout sash that I won. But you get a little sash, and I even got a patch to sew on there.
Oh, there's nothing quite like patches.
Yeah, and there was even more patches that you can win. So, not to get too much into the weeds about AOS, but like the person who came in dead last as like smoking boots, wooden spoon, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. They gave him a patch that said "I tried my best," which was like a little ribbon with a little star on it. Nice. There were a bunch of they had 15 or 20 different little random patches that you could just do. Yeah. Kind of MCP-esque. It would be whoever played against the most mutants. There was X-Men, X-Force, Brotherhood of Mutants, whatever you want. Mm-hmm. But whoever ended up playing against them the most got a special patch for that. Whoever it could all just be various random fun things that they were doing. It was great.
That makes a lot more sense. So when Miles and Cameron, they were talking about, and a big part of the conversation was about how to reward kind of like Xbox achievements style, mm-hmm. Exactly kind of the examples you were talking about. And I think that's a really creative and really fun thing to do at an event.
Yeah, I think we're trying to do that for MCP as well.
Hell yeah.
The details haven't been finalized yet, mm-hmm. so I don't want to get into it, but there have been talks about, not just having, first, second, third, get all this. That's just not how it's going to work.
Well, so speaking of, at Ironweld and Salt City, or was it just Salt City GT, there was a medalist.
Yes. That was at ACO.
Oh, it was. That's right.
When I did that, yeah. That medal is coming back for Everwinter.
I love it.
There will be a okayest player award.
That's what it was. Okayest.
Yeah. All right, cool. On a funny thing, because Dylan, hopefully Dylan will watch this. That kind of Brainchild kind of sparked from him a little bit.
Yeah.
I went to a big Warhammer-ish event of the far future.
Okay, what is a Warhammer-ish event?
It was a 40K tournament.
Okay, gotcha.
They had that award.
Oh, nice.
Somebody won. They called it the average guardsman, and it was 32 people there. So it was the guy who came in 16th.
Nice.
And I missed it by 2 spots. So
above or below?
Below. I came in 18th.
Obviously, you were shooting for it, right? But there was a lot of other people shooting for it too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that I was in the running.
Yeah.
So, considering it was my first tournament of that game in 20 years, mm-hmm. So legitimately, it's not hyperbole. It's 20 years and 6 months. So, but yeah.
But I think
this is significant.
I think that's about going to wrap it up for us. So once again, listen, wickeddicey.com. Sign up for the MCP event in Everwinter, December 8th through 10th. at the Wingate in Boston, and really outside Boston. If you're worried about driving to Boston, don't worry. You don't gotta.
Yeah.
Use code AMG4, the number 4, LIFE, to get $25 off your ticket. Effectively, you're not paying for the convention badge at that point. You're just paying for all of the MCP events. It's just one ticket to get all the MCP events. Friday, the Toys for Tots. What's the, is there a particular name for this event? Like Cheaty Face or something like...
Not officially. So the only thing that I've come up with so far is calling it the whaling event, because a whale is a term for like MMOs and stuff, is the person who like pays to win everything.
Oh yeah.
So they have all the cool stuff and they're just referred to as whales.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking I might want to refer to it as a whaling event, but it kind of counteracts the whole charity. So I was just going to say
whaling for tots doesn't have the same curb appeal.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But so that's Friday.
So Saturday, that's like fishing like young whales. Like that's
right.
That's
like veal whale. I don't even know if that's a thing. But Saturday is the LVO Points Qualifier, and Sunday is the So You Think You Can Dev event, where those will be legal, as well as the finals for the Everwinter Grand Prix.
The top 8, yes.
So we'll be streaming all weekend, so make sure to check out twitch.tv, some might say, / Professional Casual Network, where you'll be able to see all of that greatness and most likely in some way be able to interact with the charity event and be able to get tokens to benefit the charity yourself. We did run out of time, so I do apologize to Will Schick. We didn't have time to have you on for your segment tonight, but I promise next week we will find that time. But until then, guys, make sure to check out professionalcasual.com. Dylan has been putting up a fiendish amount of new blogs over there. And we will very soon be announcing not only the finalists, but the honorable mentions for our PCN Heroes of the Hobby. This was an event that we ran throughout October, where we took nominations for people on very much like Brian Watson, champions of the community that make the community better by either innovating or just being there, running events, teaching people how to play. It could be the guy that does a painting blog like Dylan Dyer, or that runs events, like Brian or Will Castillo and the New Jersey group, Tyson, who does a ton of terrain work and organization for the LVO and for Frontline. There's a bunch of these people out there that are unsung heroes of the hobby. We're going to be doing that again, but look forward to hearing the 4 finalists that'll be coming out here soon, and you can vote for which of those finalists deserves the grand prize and a customly painted model of one of their favorite characters by our own Taylor Hoyt on the Hobby Hangout. But guys, thank you so much. We'll see you very soon, and I hope to see you at Everwinter. Bye.
Bye.